Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Pam Barker, and welcome to Travel Bistro. You don't have to travel to join my podcast here. Thank you for being here, one way or the other. We have just returned from a cruise on American Cruise Line. This is small ship cruising in the U.S., in the USA. And this particular cruise on this small ship named Glory, and when I say small ship, this one had 4 stories and around 100 passengers on this trip. My partner will be writing about this, so he will be giving you more specific information about numbers and things like that. What I just want to talk about is the joy of small ship cruising. We've done a lot of cruising on all sorts of ships. American Cruise Line really does take care of things for you to make your trip as easy as possible. Now the rest is up to you. You have to join them. You have to meet them halfway and enjoy yourself in what they are offering. This particular cruise was on Glory, was started in Manhattan, New York City, and it went north on the Hudson River all the way to Troy, which is a stone's throw from Albany, their capital. It was a fall foliage cruise, and we did see some fall foliage. The weather has not really cooperated in that regard, so we did not see as much bright, fluffy colors as we thought we would. We saw some, and we were grateful because the thing is, you don't even really have to leave the ship on American Cruise Line. They have food and drink and entertainment and lectures and time to rest and time to sit on the 4th floor and just get in a comfortable chair or lounger or whatever and read or whatever. It's that kind of experience. Make it what you will. There's a giant chessboard outside. It's on the deck with these giant pieces. So there's a gym if you want to work out. So this cruise took us to some places, to be honest, I'd never heard of. These towns. They're small. And that's what makes it unique. That's what makes it really, really very, very enjoyable because you get to have unique experiences. We went to Sleepy Hollow, yes. Ichabod Crane, Headless Horseman, moving to West Point. I will say the government shutdown did impact this cruise, and that was certainly not the fault of the cruise line, obviously. And they did scramble from the home office and tried to do all they could to make it everything it could possibly be in light of the shutdown, which impacted anything federal. Now, keep it in mind, they have many, many ships. And at the same time, they're trying to reschedule shore excursions for many because some of these are national parks. For us, it happened to be Gilded Age museum, homes, mansions, things like that. So there was that factor. Starting in New York City, they put us up in Hotel Michelangelo, which was very centrally located. They serve a buffet breakfast the next morning before you start your trek. They pick you up in a bus. They have buses that go on land as you go on water on American Cruise Line. So the buses are there when you get to your particular port to take you on your short excursions, whatever they may be. Now, for me, in Manhattan, we like to get out and do what the locals do, whether it's in Manhattan or one of these small cities, little towns along the way, like Kingston, New York, on the Hudson River, which I'll tell you about that. But in Manhattan, we got out there and explored on our own. We've been to Manhattan many times, so we know what we're doing. You enjoy the knowledge of other people. that have lived there 30 and 40 years. So even though we've been going to Manhattan for many, many years and many, many trips, you never know everything. Never think that. Sorry about you if you did, because you don't. So you listen to other people that have knowledge, and we did. One of our friends lived in Manhattan for 40 years. She was a Broadway dresser and gives us great advice every time because they know the places where the locals go. As did our friend Monte, who suggested we go to a place called the Campbell, which is at Grand Central Station. Now, if you're familiar with Grand Central Station, I love to go there and you go in, you go downstairs. I love Grand Central. I love trains, so it's a beautiful, beautiful facility. I like to go downstairs and get cupcakes from Magnolia. And we thought that's where the Campbell would be, but it wasn't. You had to enter it from this little side street right there at Grand Central. Anyway, take advantage because once you start this trek, getting on the plane from the time your journey starts, from when you're out the gate, which is home, until you are headed back home. They take care of everything as much as they can. And so, in New York, we knew we didn't have to worry about anything. We had this time off, staying at the Michelangelo the next morning, breakfast buffet. You get on the bus, they do a little city tour, which was a little bit hard because of traffic in Manhattan. But then, that's it. I mean, you when they pick your bags up, from your room, by the way, in the hotel, you don't even have to move them from your room. You get to New York, get in the room, that's it. You don't see them again until you get on board. And guess what? Your bags are already there. They make it seamless. You will, I don't think, this is just my opinion, ever embark a ship easier than American Cruise Line. They're there when you get off the bus. They have a canopy set up with a rug. Welcoming you. You get on board, you have a drink of some sort, champagne or whatever. I think this time, I think it was a Cosmopolitan when we got, yes, it was a Cosmopolitan, and it was New York Cosmopolitan. It was delicious, by the way. And then you go to your stateroom, and there are your bags and the key to your room, which you put inside a little plastic thing on your lanyard. You don't even have to carry a purse if you don't want to as a girl. There it is. It's with you. Open your room. They make everything as seamless as possible. Our room was on 3. We had a balcony, of course, a very spacious room. Can't say enough about storage for me. I take stuff because I change for dinner at night. Respect for the ship, right? I'm going to go hiking all day and go to dinner. Thank you very much. So I need space. I need shoes. I need space. And there's ample. The staterooms are as big as many, many ships. So it's really a very big plus. They have an outdoor area on 4 where you can relax. They have the main dining room for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have on level 3 outside their lounge where all day long you can get coffee, wines, juices. They keep everything there in a little fridge. They have an ice maker, a very nice coffee maker for specialty coffees, or they have regular coffee if you just want regular coffee. Every day, twice a day, 10 and 3, they have cookies, fresh cookies in that lounge. Outside is called the back porch where you can get more casual food. Burgers. We don't eat red meat, so we had to find a chicken wrap or something. You can also have breakfast there. In that same lounge, they have continental breakfast that is very, very nice if you don't want to go and have a big breakfast downstairs. So American Cruise Line, you don't really ever have to get off the ship if you don't want to. You can stay there. You can work out. You can read. You can put your headphones on, listen to music. You can chat with people, meet new people. It's whatever you make it, really. They offer it, and then it's up to you to embrace whatever piece of it you would like to have. In the evening, they have a specific cocktail hour where they have a drink of the day, if that's what you want. And they did one night have espresso martini, one of my favorites, and it was one of the best I've ever had. It was delicious. And then you hang out and you meet people and you talk to people. We met a delightful couple on our very first morning at breakfast, the buffet breakfast where everyone can gather, from Alabama. And throughout the cruise, we engaged with them. This cruise had a very engaging group of passengers. One mother-daughter team from Michigan, we absolutely enjoyed their company so much. They were hilariously funny. And my mate has these great shirts. They're actually designs from artwork done in mid-century modern. If you're familiar with the long elongated cats and the TVs, it's very mid-century modern. Well, because of these cats, they were misinterpreted as cat shirts, cat lover. Okay, cats, fine, but it's really our nod to our love of design during mid-century modern America. But she took a lot of pictures. She only took two of the particular cat shirts. So she took a bunch of them. She sent them to her daughter and her husband. Got the biggest kick out of that. And we enjoyed speaking with them so much. And they were just very engaging. And that's the thing about small ship cruising. You don't have to do it if you want to be by yourself, and there's plenty of room to do that. It's not that small where you have to worry about people. If you're not a people person, or if you're just not in the mood, you don't have to. You don't have to engage. I do want to talk, before I move on to our ports, I want to talk about the chef was fantastic. The food was fantastic. The pastry chef was very, very good, and she did a cooking demonstration on black and white cookies. Not that I'll ever make them, but I enjoyed seeing her do the demonstration. When you're in New York City, that's where you buy black and white cookies, and make sure they come from people that make them, or a bakery that makes them, not that you buy that are pre-made, because there's a difference. There's a huge difference. Just like, Magnolia Cupcakes there at Grand Central downstairs. You have to, if you like cupcakes, you have to go to Magnolia and get them to go. And I did. I took them on the ship. I didn't eat them on the ship, as a matter of fact. I didn't even eat them all on the ship, because once you're on the ship, But let me tell you about our itinerary just a little bit, because it was very interesting going up the Hudson, even though the fall foliage was not as bright and glittery as it could have been due to the weather, even though we had a government shutdown that impacted shore excursions. The Home Office did what they could to make it good. Like in New York, when you listen to locals, as you travel, if you have overnight stays on any size ship, get out there, get off the boat. There's plenty to do on the boat. Enjoy every moment of it. But then take some time, get off and enjoy. And that's what happened as we went from New York. First stop was Sleepy Hollow. Yes, Ichabod Crane. West Point shut down because the kids were going to school, the students, the young people were going to classes. But it was impacted a bit by the federal shutdown. But we did get to go. We went through it. We were lucky to be able to do that. And we went to the chapel, which was on the campus, which was very beautiful. So from West Point, we went on up to Hyde Park. The next stop was Kingston, where we had an overnight. And we did a couple of things there in Kingston. Even though the food is fantastic, it's good every now and then to see what are locals doing? Where do they eat? So we ate at an Italian restaurant, and it was absolutely fantastic. In Kingston, New York, never heard of it. I do now know. That was for lunch. That night we got off and we walked along the river, and there was a restaurant there, big, beautiful restaurant. We went in, see what's up. We had dinner on the ship. We didn't want dinner. We just wanted to see, what are the locals doing? Are they having a happy hour? What are they doing? Well, lo and behold, at this place in Kingston, New York, they were having a Taylor Swift party about her new album, Life as a Showgirl, on the outdoor patio on the Hudson. So there we went, and we got to enjoy what they were doing on the DJ. They had decorations on the table. They gave us heart-shaped sunglasses, pink for me, blue for Gary. And it was absolutely fantastic. And we had cocktails there, and the locals that we met in Kingston, whether it was anywhere that we went in Kingston. But that particular night, they were really, really fun and engaging and welcoming. They were not bothered that we were tourists, and it was obvious we were tourists. I mean, I forgot to take my lanyard off and put it in my purse. It was around my neck. I was wearing evening clothes. I was dressed up because that's what I do. I bring the glitter and anybody else doesn't have to. They can hike all day and go to dinner. I don't do that. Respect for the dinner experience. And so that's what we did in Kingston that night. Then we went on up to the Catskills, where even though what happened to us were the Gilded Age mansions were closed down. So along the way, that impacted us. Vanderbilt, these different things, FDR, these things were closed. I can't cry over spilled milk. The home office for American Cruise Line did what they could. They absolutely did what they could, and it was greatly appreciated by us, for sure. But in the Catskills, we did Alana. If you're familiar with Frederick Church, landscape artist, his magnificent home. Now listen, you may not be able to go on American Cruise Line and see this in person, but go online and look it up, because that home is unique and fabulous. It was such a fun morning. It was a beautiful morning. You had to traverse around this, because he has a lot of land there in upstate New York, and the home looks out up from a hill onto the Hudson, kind of way down. It was really fun. And then afterwards, sometimes I will, buy stuff in the gift shop. Sometimes I really do try to always leave money locally, engage in the economy in any way that I can. But this particular day was really fun outside the gift shop, because I love working with local artists and things like that. And these women had these tables set up, and people always wonder, how do you engage? How do you guys so engage with people as you travel so much and stay in touch with people through the years? It's easy. You talk to them. And if they don't talk to you, you move on to somebody else. And that's what I did. My first words to these two beautiful women about my age, do you have a uranium glass? Because they had all this stuff out there, part of which was glass. And I said, why, yes, we do. And that's what started this great conversation with these women there near the gift shop at the Olana. I may be saying that right, O-L-A-N-A. I may be saying that wrong. And so we bought a piece from them, would have done more, but we had to consider luggage weight and breakage. So we came back home with a piece from them and got a photo with them. They were just so engaging with me. They wanted to be with the photo, and it was just really, really fun there in the Catskills. Then we were up to Troy, where we did a museum, and we did a Brassworks, which sounds really weird, but they had a little golden book in there. What they had a lot of bell makers and ironworks. It's ironworks of all kinds. But in this little case, in this little display case, they had this homage to nurses. Now, I've never wanted to be a nurse. I hate needles. I hate all of that. Just get away from me with all that. But as a kid, one of my favorite books was a little book called Nurse Nancy. And I called it Nancy Nurse, much to my sister's chagrin, because I couldn't read. She had to read it to me. She read it to me so much, I could read it by memory. When it was new, it had little Band-Aids in it, and I loved that book. And I hadn't seen Nurse Nancy in forever and ever and ever. And there was in a display case. And I said, what is the significance of this book. And he said, well, there was an association with this company with nursing equipment and so forth, and this book is in the case. I have a photo of it. I will post it. Love, love, love it. But, you know, who knew you wanted to go see how they make things to do with brass, such as organs and pianos and things that go inside the workings. Anyway, that's what we did in Troy. And then we did a walking tour and another museum. By the way, FYI, in Troy, if you are a fan of the Gilded Age, they have filmed many, many scenes in Troy, New York, because it looks like the streets of Manhattan during the Gilded Age. Now, what we were told, what they did, they brought in, they put dirt on the streets. They changed the storefronts, and one of the stores, they also changed inside the interior just a little bit. But look it up, the Gilded Age filming in Troy, New York, and it was just the architecture. I did a whole reel of just for social media of just Troy's architecture, because it is beautiful. What it reminded me of, some of the side streets, was actually, more Greenwich Village. Really, absolutely beautiful. So that was where we stopped. That was the end of the actual going up the Hudson, where we would be flying out of Albany, their capital, which is right there also. Before I end this podcast, though, I have to talk about not only how American Cruise Line, with all sincerity, I say this, how they take care of their passengers. They, from the beginning, when you leave, headed to the airport, all the way to headed to the airport for your return trip, to the best of their ability. I lost my pink sunglasses. They were never to be found. So what I want to say is, when you travel, don't take anything you mind losing, because you could lose it. So nothing they could do about me losing my pink sunglasses. I lost them. That's on me. But we have taken 6 cruises on American Cruise Line. And they put forth an effort for their passengers. And on this cruise, I want to give a shout out to the chef, who's exemplary, to the pastry chef, who did a great job, but the 3 people that were really in the dining room that made us feel so welcome. And they engaged with us the entire time, even when we would ask for something. We try not to be that way, but if there happened to be some little something, could I switch for this chicken dish? Could I have the potatoes that go with the fish dish? Things like that. Of course you can. And whether they wanted to do it or not, which I'm sure they didn't mind. They were happy to do it. They were these servers. Our primary server these were all young people named Savannah. Big shout out to her. After the first dinner, that when she served us, from then on, she knew the kind of wine I liked and brought it, period. She came out with it. Gary likes iced tea. He likes it with lemon, and he likes a glass of extra ice. Same thing. There it was. Plus, she spent time, not too much, because she took care of her tables, not just us. She gave everyone the same attention. But I personally just loved engaging with her, because she was professional all the way and just fun to talk to and interested in us enough to make me feel so welcome to be there at her table. The other 2 were not primary servers for us, Aaliyah and Brian. And we had so much fun kidding with them, and we took some photos with them before we got off. And that's the thing about small ship cruising, is you get the opportunity to do things like that. In a week's time, you really come away with the feeling that you had this unforgettable experience. While you're sitting out perhaps on the fourth floor of the fourth level of Glory, for example, and you're just watching the sunset alone, maybe with a glass of wine, and just feeling the peace of the world, of your moment. My motto in life, and anyone that knows me knows this, is be present. Be present in the moment. This moment won't come again. And I think if you can go on a small ship cruise and experience, allow yourself to really embrace it and look people in the eye that are trying to make your trip as enjoyable as they can, and respect what they do as they respect you as a passenger, it is the most memorable of experiences. So to those three young people, a big shout out from both Gary, my partner, and I. We cannot thank them enough. Or thank you, American Cruise Line, for hosting this very, very wonderful adventure on the USA ship Glory. Thank you. My partner will be writing about this. He writes for Aqua Magazine, Splash Magazine Worldwide, North Palm Beach Life. That is our website, and All Things Cruise. These podcasts are on 20 platforms. They're listened to all over the world. We have a map that shows it. They're always available, though, on our website, northpalmbeachlife.com. You can contact me through that, or you can see me on social media, Pamela Barker. Listen to my other podcast, if you will, GT and the 561. That's general topic. You can either agree with what I talk about or not. Let me hear from you, whichever way you feel. I love hearing from you. Really do check us out, northpalmbeachlife.com on YouTube. Gary puts so much stuff out there. I appreciate you for being with me on Travel Bistro today. I'm Pam Barker. Happy trails.